Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from crafttestdummies.com, and today I want to share with you a waterfall card I made that is themed for Halloween. Now, when I received this die from Tonic Studios, they kind of showed it as like, this pretty Mother's Day card, but I love this die for making Christmas or, as you can see here, Halloween themed cards. So I have a couple of different versions to show you. The step out video of how we're doing it is actually going to be this one, but I wanted to show you some other versions too. This one I just used some really cute action stickers that I got from the Dollar Target spot. But as you can also see, you can also use any kind of die cuts or stickers that you might have. Isn't this fun? I also really love that Tonic also has these great dies. They've got a trick or treat, they've got Boo, and then this Happy Halloween, which comes with both layers. So I absolutely love it. And then once again, here's one you're gonna see doing step by step using just leftover stuff that I had. So let's take a look. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cut out my piece. I'm using some pretty double-sided kind of festive paper. And then I also cut out a selection of these little ovals. Now, I didn't mind all the same size because it's kind of like what's on the package here. But you can do however, you like it if you wanted to do the graduated ones. I'm just doing this because I kind of feel like it's going to be the easiest for me to put together. And then I also cut out one of the bars which will slide through. Now, I'm doing this in cardstock weight. This is actually a little flimsier. This may be like 80 pound. It's pretty light. This is a little bit heavier, and the card base I'm going to put it on is even heavier still because I feel like the base really needs to be sturdy if you're going to be pulling something back and forth, and you also want a very sturdy adhesive. So this is actually 110 pound weight. It's my favorite paper. It's called One Sheet Wonder, and that's what I'm going to use for the base. So in order to prepare it, what I'm going to do is take a look, and you can barely see these little score lines, yeah? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it over so that the tab is on the bottom, and then I'm gonna fold it on these little score lines, just with my fingers. Nothing too fancy, just like so. And then each of these will create a waterfall effect. Yeah. So then what we're gonna do is take our little piece of paper here and we're gonna thread it through. And I think you can do it, either, you could probably do it on the top and it'd be kind of pretty, or you can do it from the bottom, however you want. I'm actually gonna thread it underneath so you don't see it. But, just as easily you could stamp on it and make that a design element too. So the basic idea is that, and then you see these also have their little score lines. I'm going to take it and wrap it around like so. And it'll actually go around this bottom piece as well. So that when it's on the card like this, that's the base, and then when you glue it down and you pull it, it will slide back and forth. So what you want to do is go ahead and put some glue here, and I do recommend a double sticky tape, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put a background paper on here. Maybe I will. Maybe I'm going to put a little something on top. Okay, guys, so this is the part where I totally confess to you that I was in the middle of doing my tutorial and my phone got interrupted because I was filming on my iPhone. And yeah, it stopped. So now I have to go back and completely reproduce this for you, but I think it's entirely doable. So I got to the last stage, which is creating a card blank, and then I put some paper on top. I'll make this one a little bit different because, yeah, I don't want them necessarily to be the same. I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to slide the tab through. This time I'm going to go ahead and put it on top just because it's faster. You line up it folded all the way to the top, as close to even at the bottom as you can. And then you're going to take the score lines and wrap them around both sides. So this is going through both thicknesses. Now what we're going to do is actually adhere the glue. Now I'm going to tell you, I made this mistake a couple times. One time I used a wetter glue and it smudged over. The other time I used my ATG and it kind of, I didn't say glued some things together, but it just got sticky. So now what I'm going to recommend is that you use double sticky tape for this. because it is a lot cleaner and it's a lot more precise. And I'm gonna use my little duct tape scissors here so I can cut it into small enough pieces. And I'm gonna give you my little best pro tip because I've actually made 3 of these by now. And what I'm gonna tell you to do is put the tape as close to the outside folded edge as you can, because that will actually make it sit the most securely when you're pulling it back and forth and keep it from shimmying back and forth. So I'm gonna put this right here along the edge. That's the only piece of tape I'm gonna put down. I'm not doing anything repositionable because this has to be able to move freely. So this is really the trickiest part of the whole procedure, okay? Move the tape, make sure the card is opening the way you want it to open, and then line it up wherever you want it to be, making sure that those tabs are folded around to the back. And I'm gonna actually put it down, then kind of smooth it out, and then rub it down on the other side. So there's still a little bit of wiggle. It's just what's gonna happen, because again, you need things to move. I think we could also add a little bit of glue right underneath at the very end, or yeah, maybe better yet, what we'll do is we'll glue the last thing right on top and make sure it's all the way seated down. That may be the best plan. Now, remember, this is the bottom of your waterfall. So this is actually the whole reason why I made this video. And if you're still with me, I love you for that. Thank you for holding on, because the hardest part for me is how do I lay this out? So actually, if we go back to this one, it goes from the top and then underneath. So when you start adhering things, you're gonna go from the bottom and work to the top. So start with the last thing that you see. And for this particular one, I think the last thing that we're going to see, so the last one we're gonna see is this color of purple and my cute little trick or treat die cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that with tape. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is look at these little lines where where it's been scored, and I'm gonna go ahead and adhere each one of these right up against it so that you get that kind of maximum waterfall effect. If you have it go below that score line, it's gonna stick to the next one and keep it from moving appropriately. And of course with the ovals, it means you have even a little bit less space. So I'm gonna go back to my ETG gun because it's super narrow. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue right here at the top. Again, I feel like really the best way to do this is with a dry adhesive, because a wet adhesive just could get really, really messy. So I'm gonna just use my fingernail and line it up and add the next thing on. So that's the next level. Hold on, let me double check. Might have gone a little high. There we go. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add another kind of cute accessory here. So for the images, you could stamp an image. I'm gonna use these stickers that I got at the Target Dollar Spot. Make sure you check out my haul because they have some good stuff there right now. So I'm gonna use this cute little haunted house. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and adhere my next section of waterfall. I think this is fun because you could actually decorate this, you know, in like a really spooky motif. If you wanted to do something that was a little more juvenile, you could do anniversary cards. You could do a Thanksgiving Day card where each flap is something else that you're thankful for. I mean, come on. I'm gonna put the little boo on here. And again, I'm gonna Okay, so now I'm also going to recommend that you add a little bit of a reinforcement to this. So I found that I can just use a little hole punch, and I'm going to put one on the front, one on the back, glue them together, and then put another little hole in the middle. Because if kids are pulling these, they may not be as careful. So just a little bit of glue will help. Now for the last thing, I'm gonna go ahead and actually put a Happy Halloween down here. And this is my little tip for you. If you wanna put anything on the bottom level, you have to make sure it's really glued down as flush as possible, because when you go to kind of put it back into shape, it will wanna catch on that edge. So this also may be the kind of thing where it would be better to stamp the bottom layer, or you know, send it to an adult who, when they go to put it back together, you know, won't rip it or tear it a little bit. Does that make sense? Like, know your audience. So I'm gonna go do like this. And then if you wanted to, you could do this with a Xyron machine or something like that, or dry it flat for a while. Oop, hold on, I left that the little A. Pop, there we go. Okay, and get my little piece of plastic back out and do a little bit of burnish. I just use a little bit of plastic to help me really kind of smush it down until it sticks.
There you go, you're all set. Now actually, you remember you still have the inside of the card to write a note, put a little gift card, and if you put these in the mail, make sure you use a padded envelope so nothing gets squashed. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this inspiration and are inspired to try a Wonderful card of your own. I'd love it if you would like and subscribe, and as always, have a crafty day.